Grab your favorite something that you wear underneath your outfit that reminds you, I'm going to get myself, I'm getting tonight. I'm going to get tonight. Hey, I'm Jen, host of the Open Bedroom podcast, where you'll find topics of sex, dating, relationships, non-monogamy, and more. I'm glad you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Open Bedroom podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and today I'm going to talk to you about from dinner to desire, how to create a sexy Valentine's night at home. So if you've ever found yourself wondering what you're actually supposed to do on Valentine's Day, especially once dinner is over, you are not alone. Most couples want the night to feel sexy, connected, intentional, but they don't want pressure, awkwardness, or a forced performance. This night isn't about hoping sex happens. It's about building desire on purpose. In today's episode, I'm walking you through a simple 3-part desire build from morning to the dinner table to the bedroom. So you can create a sexy night at home that you both will actually love. No guessing, no scripts, just intentional arousal that leads somewhere totally delicious. First, let's start with spontaneous versus responsive desire. Each of us is wired in one of two ways. We are either spontaneously wired for sex, meaning we are ready to go at the drop of a hat. Other partners are responsive desire. In general, typically, men are more spontaneous and women are more responsive. In my particular partnership with my husband, I'm the spontaneous one, and he is more responsive. Everybody's wired differently. So it's really important to understand how you're wired and how your partner's wired, because 9 out of 10 times you are not wired the same way. I think it's really easy for a spontaneous desired wired person. That doesn't even make sense, right? Spontaneously desire wired person. If you have spontaneous desire, it's really easy to imagine everyone is built this way. Like, well, I can just have sex at the drop of the hat. Why can't she? Or why can't he? Or why can't they? And I think it's really important to slow down and remember that not everybody is wired the same way as us. In fact, opposites attract. Responsive desire requires buildup. It requires mindset. It requires being mind fucked. And sometimes you're fucking your own mind. So I'm going to give you some super fun ideas to take all of your sex day. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. This should be a regular thing for you. And to give you an idea of how to prime that pump early so that you can end up with sex. Now, as I was prepping for this particular podcast, I came across a lot of information that was pretty PC, politically correct. And it was, oh, don't expect sex from your partner. Just expect intimacy and, maybe things will unfold and hopefully maybe you will actually have sex with each other. And I was like, I don't want to have a podcast episode like that. I believe in being really intentional. And especially on a day like Valentine's Day or a birthday or something that's really, an anniversary for fuck's sake, you want to put your bodies together. So this plan that I have for you today is going to get you there. Okay. The first thing to keep in mind, this is my part 1 out of my 3 parts. Part 1 is desire doesn't start at night. It actually starts in the morning. It starts with being really fucking intentional, even the night before. So this is how Scott and I do this. We have sex every other day. About every 48 hours, we have sex. This is for me, for my nervous system, and because I'm a high sexual, my nervous system needs to know we're going to have sex. For Scott, he is more of the responsive desire partner, and so he does things intentionally to get his body ready. So what we'll do when we know that next morning we're going to wake up, we love morning sex. That's our favorite. we're all warm and cozy and naked, you know? And it happens. It naturally happens for us. We might even be spooning and he's behind me and he gets hard and he slips his cock inside me. We love morning sex. Also, we don't have to get up to alarm clocks, so I know that that's not possible for everybody. But so what we do the night before is we both go to bed naked. Now, typically, if Scott's not going to have a sex morning, he'll go to bed in, super comfy boxer briefs and sometimes even a t-shirt, and that's his most comfortable state. He doesn't have to worry about waking up and, being turned on or waking up in the middle of the night and being turned on. Not that that's a bad thing, but if your intention is to sleep well, you don't want to worry about constantly being turned on, right? So when we know we're going to have a sexy morning, about every other morning, he will go to bed naked. So I am encouraging you the night before Valentine's Day night to go together to bed together naked. And if you aren't having really regular sex, like we're having sex every other day or you're not having sex every day, maybe you want to make that part of the play that we are going to rev each other up, but we're not going to have sex till Valentine's Day night. That'd be so much fun. Okay, so part one, try to go to bed naked. So at least you're brushing skin against each other. You're feeling the silky fabric of your sheets. You're turning your own fucking self on. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is wear something that makes you feel sexy underneath your everyday clothes. Guys, this could be, maybe tighter boxer briefs. Maybe there's a special sensation that you like on your underwear. Maybe there's a fun pattern that just like makes you feel really sexy. Um, have a pair of underwear, instead of it being like, these are my lucky underwear. I mean, maybe they are your lucky underwear, but grab your favorite something that you wear underneath your outfit that reminds you, I'm going to get myself, like, I'm getting fucked tonight. I'm going to get sexy tonight. Women, this is much easier for us because we have a million different ways to wear lingerie. This could be as easy as you are wearing matching underwear and bra set. Okay. Like if that's a stretch for you, maybe that's your thing. And even though it's comfy, it matches and that makes you feel sexy. All the way down to you're wearing full lingerie underneath your work clothes. That will absolutely turn you the fuck on. I learned this little technique not necessarily to turn myself on for sex, but just to turn myself on as a human back in like late high school, early college. I worked for Bath and Body Works and their sister company is Victoria's Secret. And I discovered fishnets and bodysuits and corsets and all kinds of sexy lingerie as a young adult. And I worked at a bank. So I was very profesh on the outside. I would wear like knee-length skirts, like a little collared situation and a jacket. I was business professional for a bank. But underneath, I had thigh highs, some sexy ass fishnet something or other. I had a thong that I could feel all day long, and I would make my own self wet. I'm like, how did I even know how to do this? I have no idea. But I learned early that my body was built for pleasure. And I would literally be dripping on my thighs while I was being a bank teller. And then I would go home and, whatever. I don't know, be turned on by myself. So you can do the same thing. In fact, it's extra fucking sexy when you wear it to a job that's just like, meh, but you're like, you got a little sparkle in your eye that day because you know exactly what's on underneath. Okay. So A, we're turning our own fucking selves on. B, I also want you to think about what are some ways you can connect with your partner throughout the day that keeps a simmer burning. Okay. This could be fun pictures. You like pop over into the bathroom, take a little naughty pic. This could be flirty or anticipatory texts like, God, I can't stop thinking about tonight. I'm so excited. I mean, how turned on would you be if you got a text from your partner that said something like, Hey, baby, I'm sitting here in my really boring cubicle, but I'm fucking hard as a rock. I cannot stop thinking about what we're going to do tonight. I can't wait to put my hands on your body You can also leave some voice notes of desire and say the same thing. Maybe you go on your lunch break and you say some of that, like, God, I can't wait to lick chocolate off your nipples. Something that is talking about them and what you're excited to do with them. You can even reference some shared memories. Like, do you remember that time we went parking? But we went parking with this intentionality to have this like really sexy makeout session. Do you remember crawling into the back seat of the car and we had that really cozy blanket and we had, some wine and some food and we just snuggled. And God, remember when it turned so hot and we just started ripping each other's clothes off? Such an incredible memory for me. Um, the other the other idea I have for you during the day is to get a workout in. Like workouts do amazing things for your hormones and they can make us feel in our body instead of in our mind, especially if we have a really cerebral job, like I do during the day. I'm constantly working on numbers and with clients and with stress. Take a break, like an intentional break in the middle of the day. Go to the fucking gym, get a run in, pump some weights, move your body, and really get in there. So the purpose here is you're warming up your body and your nervous system long before you touch each other. Okay, part two, dinner. Now I have two different options for you. Um, Something a little bit more fancy and something that's just, I don't know, easy and maybe playful. So dinner is foreplay with flavor. It's not the main event, right? The goal is sensuality, it's not fullness. We are not eating steak and potatoes and cake. We're gonna fuck, right? So I want you to think about light but indulgent, easy to eat, touch friendly. Finger foods are really primal and they get us in our body and touching our body. So even think about finger food. You don't want to get stuck in a kitchen. This is not the night for you to decide you're going to make chicken cordon bleu or I have no idea what kind of fancy ass dish you might decide you want to make. I don't want you to do this Valentine's Day night. Maybe save this for like an intentional date night where you're at 6 o'clock starting dinner. Like it's going to take a hot minute. You could also DoorDash the shit in where you don't have to cook anything or pick it up on the way home, have somebody else cook it. So this could be something simple like, steak or salmon, roasted veggies, some sort of a shared dessert. And I don't mean eat the whole steak. I mean like share a steak. Like have 4 bites of steak, have 2 bites of veggies, share a couple bites of dessert, then get ready to go fuck each other. Okay. And you could also do something that's effortless and kind of erotic, like, take out a nice big plate if you don't have a charcuterie board and do like a cheese and crackers, chocolate covered strawberries, sparkling wine, or mocktails, and use food as foreplay. Like, I want you to actually feed each other and like use your hands instead of utensils and share bites, like take a bite of the strawberry, share the bite with them, really interact, eye lock, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be fucking weird, but like you are sharing an intimate moment and there's nothing, well, there are more intimate things than food. So let me correct myself. Food is very intimate. Um, I actually incorporate a lot of food play into sex. So it could be that plates are optional, that maybe you use each other's bodies. Would I eat steak off my partner? No, that's kind of gross. But would I lick my favorite cake off my partner's body? Fuck yeah, I would. And I have. Okay, here's part three. Turn arousal into experience. So from there, I want you to slowly transition. Like rushing kills desire. There's nothing worse than being in a hurry. So you want to stay with the sensation that builds on it. So I'm going to give you some ideas that are going to up level your normal sex life. Okay. One, oil massage. If you normally use oil anyway with each other, maybe you elevate that and you buy yourself a hot oil warmer. You can get these off of Amazon for like less than 20 bucks. I have one next to our bed. It's super easy. You just turn it on and it'll heat up to like 120, 140 and it's hot and amazing. Touch each other's bodies. Like get slick. Side note, have a splash blanket. Splash blankets are great for food, like your picnic on the bed, right? Where I'm gonna fucking eat some cake off my partner's body. They're also really great for oil. Also, if your partner gets really wet or squirts, you definitely want a splash blanket. Um, I will link my favorite one in the notes below. I have like three splash blankets. I have like a twin size that I actually don't pull out very often because that's not big enough for anything. And then maybe it's a full. And then I have a king, and we have a king size bed. So that one's my favorite go to. It's definitely big enough to cover the whole bed and three people, which is how many people I like to have in my bed. And every single time we have intentional sex with another person, or I'm going to be making a mess, I take that blanket out every time. And then as soon as we're done with sex, I just throw it in my washer and I turn it on immediately so that you don't get any, weird smells or textures or weird stains. That's all I meant. Weird stains, like, wine on your blanket. And then sometimes I have to double dry, just side note. Sometimes I have to do a second dryer run just because those things, like there's a lot of absorbent stuff inside of them. Okay. So we talked about oil for massage. Another great idea to uplevel your sex life is do some warm wax play. Now, I'm not talking about getting a candle like like a Bath and Body Works candle and like go put that on your partner. That is going to be really fucking hot. There are soy candles. You can stop by any sex shop and buy a wax candle that is going to be like warm, but not going to hurt anybody. It's going to feel really good. It's similar to your oil massage, but a little bit thicker. So think like oil, but like a little bit of a waxy texture. What's fun about that is you're playing with temperature. So we could talk about temperature play. Um, Not everybody likes temperature play. I really do. I like heat a lot, but I also like cold. You may not want to actually put an ice cube on your person. I mean, sometimes I get really hot and I like an ice cube, but it could be that you take a spoon. Spoons get really cold, and that you kind of dredge that spoon across your partner's body as they're blindfolded. So explore different textures as well. If you're doing oil or wax play, you're going to want to explore with textures on their bodies first, and then you're going to want to put oil on. So, for example, I have this paddle that is lined with some sort of like faux fur. You don't want to get oil or wax on that fur, it's going to ruin it. So, what I would do first is I would do anything with texture or rope play, if you want to like tie your person up or you want to like drag rope as a sensation, you want to do all of those things first. Then you move to the oil or the wax or whatever's gonna, create a big fat mess. Okay. Lastly, I want to talk about toys. So, there is a reason that the sex toy industry is humongous, and many women need toys to get off. So, I would recommend you know, if you want to enhance this night, maybe you get something special that the two of you have never played with before. Like maybe it's a toy made for both of you, like vibrating cock rings or something like that. You could also just get a wand and you could play with a wand with each other. Like she can put a wand on your shaft, she can run it along your penis. You can obviously play in multiple ways with a wand with a woman. If you're a man and you are like, "Oh, I want to do something a little kinky and fun," maybe you buy your partner some nipple clamps because you're like, "Oh, I like the way that looks." Or maybe you buy it for both of you and you both play with them. There's a million different sex toys. Sex toys to me are really fun to just add something new to the bedroom. So we're not just having missionary sex forever. You know what I mean? All right. So I think the way I want to close this out is Valentine's Day isn't about like being wild or crazy. It's about building desire intentionally from morning to night. It's about that like connective interaction with your partner throughout the day. It's about co-creating an evening that's special. And if you're at the end of this and you're like, "Bleh," like, why would I do all this just for Valentine's Day? Well, it's a holiday that we have created out of nothing, but it's one night in the entire 365 days in a year that is designed to be intentional in terms of love and care and intimacy with your partner. And so, yes, we're having sex normally, hopefully on some sort of regularity, but this is a chance for you to maybe get a permission slip to like really up level your night. All right, guys, have fun. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.